Hey, everybody. It's been a while since Abeth and I have gotten to do this kind of, I don't know, it feels like we're doing a little soft shoe routine or something.
Yeah, it's the Frickin' Frack Show.
Yeah. We're going to talk a little bit about these letters that are up on the flip chart. You don't know it yet, or maybe you don't know it yet, but you have each one of these letters in some form or fashion. So we're going to talk about them, and we're going to ask for some audience participation. So be warned. Okay.
Okay. So this is these four letters, the SIEO. This is the model of human sexuality, and like Karen says, we all have these. And so part of why we're talking about this today is we really want to explore a little bit about how we're all the same even though we're all very different. This is something we talk about in Our Whole Lives, which is our human sexuality curriculum that we do here at Shadow Rock. It's for all ages. And last fall, we held OWL for adults during the 9 o'clock education hour. And we went over this model, and someone in the class said, this is brilliant. This is changing the way I see things. You need to do this in church so that everyone can see it. And lo, here we are. All right.
All right. Plus, it's Pride Month, y'all, so happy Pride.
It is Pride Month.
Can someone step forward and hold S, our first letter?
Okay. Got it? Yay!
All right, Linda's holding S, which stands for sex or sex assigned at birth. And there's a sheet of paper under there. I know.
Sorry.
That this is the physical characteristics that we all have. So it covers anatomy, reproductive organs, genitalia, chromosomes. You know, people talk about X and Y and XX, and there's a whole lot of other options there. Also, hormones. What hormones you have and in what quantities. So generally, the options for sex assigned at birth are male, female, and intersex. Okay. Cool.
All right, we need another volunteer to hold the I. Oh. Yes.
Okay. All right. Sans has I, and that stands for gender identity. And this is what's going on inside of you, your internal sense of who you are in terms of gender. So that could be a boy, man, could be girl or woman. It could be both. It could be neither. And there's a whole lot of other options there that maybe are things that you've never heard of, including third gender, agender, genderqueer, and two-spirited. Okay.
Okay. All right. The E is for expression. I'm going to give this to Linda.
Okay, cool. All right. Gender expression is where we all get to be creative in the way we show up in the world. So it's the way a person chooses to express who they are in terms of their gender. So this has so many options, including clothing, voice, mannerisms. Sometimes I call it this is the mascara question. Do you wear mascara or do you not? And how it changes based on where you are in your life, where you are, what setting you're in. And there's lots of different words that describe gender identity. Anybody want to shout out words that describe, gender expression? Anybody want to shout out a word that you've heard in terms of gender expression? Maybe. Oh, okay, feminine. Fem or feminine, sure. Anybody else? Masculine, sure. Metrosexual. Oh, yeah, macho.
Macho's
sure.
good.
Sure.
And a lot of the things with expression, too, will change depending on the culture that you're in. So around the world, these are very different. These gender expressions are very different. If you look at the course of human history, gender expression 100 years ago was different than 500 years ago, which was different than last week. So there's a lot of variation on this.
Okay, our last one is O. Who is the O?
You've been volunteered. I'm sorry. They said your name. Yes.
All right. This is the one that probably is the most familiar to us in this model. O stands for sexual orientation, and this is a person's feelings of emotional, romantic, or physical attraction with other people. And so this is the one that we're like, oh, right. So there's some up here, what are some options that you've heard for sexual orientation? Could lesbian be one? Yeah. Yes. Bi? Yes. Cisgender is gender identity. Yeah. That if you're not trans, you're cis. Yes. Okay. Pan, yes. Pan is an orientation, yeah. Okay, others, gay, straight, bi, asexual, pansexual. There's a whole lot of other like creative words that are mentioned here, but those are the basics. All right, there are in your bulletin some questions.
Well, wait, before we get to that.
Oh, yeah.
So what's really cool about this, and this is what I love, and this is what I love teaching about this, is you see these four people up here, all holding these 4 letters. These are all connected in that you all have these. You each have one of these letters that you could identify. And at the same time, these 4 letters have nothing to do with each other. What your biological sex is does not say anything about what your orientation is. And your gender identity might not have to do with your orientation. So they're connected because you have them all, and at the same time, they are completely, utterly separate things that everybody has, these 4 characteristics. And I think that's really kind of a cool way to look at how we come together as people. You need to talk about the question box, too.
Oh, yeah.
You need to explain the question box.
There's some questions in the bulletin for you to talk at your table or along your row or turn around to each other and just chit-chat. And also in the back, hey, well, can you hold up that big blue box since you're standing right there? Yeah, just hold it up in the air for me. This is our Super Mondo question box. Abeth and I took this to a high school in the Valley a couple years ago and invited every student to put a question in the box. That's why we have the really big one. So we hauled it out for today. If you have a question, if you went, I just don't understand that whole S and the I, and how is the E connected to the O, or is it not, and I don't understand, write your question, stick it in the box. We do this at all levels of our whole lives with little munchkin kiddos that are in the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade curriculum, all the way up to kids who are about to graduate from high school. And we say, we'll answer pretty much whatever you put in the box.
And we have 7th grade boys who like to test this every single year. And we answer them every single year. And I see OWL alumni here sitting with us today, and it is true, we answer every question in the box. And so you can ask us anything. If you want to know more about OWL, this is a great way to do it too. And Karen and I will go through the questions, and we'll type up answers, and we'll put them in Rock the Week this week so that everyone can see the questions and answers that we got. Please ask us anything. It can't be anything worse than what the 7th grade boys ask us. Honestly.
It's true. So take just a few minutes to look at those questions in the bulletin. Maybe it'll spark something for you, and it'll remind you of a question that you'd like to put in the question box that's in the back. Thanks for playing.